The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where Wally teaches and where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. This podcast is also brought to you by United Faith Mortgage. Let their direct lender advantage save you time and money.
Uplifting WayFM, this is The Wally Show. So Betty Rock was going through the Instagram of this guy, Josh Wilson, and she came across a post that said, celebrating 6 years of sobriety, which I quickly started doing math in my head, and I was like, wait a minute, he was a Christian artist in the beginning of his career then, and I had never known that. So we wanted to have him on and talk about it, and I think that this kind of vulnerability inside of Christian music is super rare. And I think that it is one of those things that it's an important story to tell. And we wanted to have him come in and tell it firsthand. And this is kind of where we started with it. We wanted to have you in instead of just speculate or talk about you. We're like, well, let's get the story from him directly. What was going on, man?
Well, honestly, this is the first time I've spoken publicly about it,
Cool.
so I'm sure I'll be, stumbling over my words here. But
Not a problem. And the next time you have something fall apart in your life, we'll have you on again.
yeah,
It's great.
How exciting! I get to come air all the dirty laundry here.
It's so good,
This
right?
is a safe place for the whole world to hear all your things.
It's not safe. No. So yeah, what was happening?
Well, okay, so I've dealt with anxiety for most of my life,
Really?
as long as I can remember. And, for a guy that deals with that, alcohol in the short term seemed like a good solution to that. You can sort of turn down the volume on those feelings.
Totally get that. And let me tell you this. You talk about safe place. There's like zero judgment. I know we're kidding around about some things, but you have zero judgment here. Like I'm a guy that did drugs and like way harder than alcohol.
Sure.
And so like I know addiction. I know what that's like to walk through that. I know all the sides of it. So you're not getting any judgment here. I'm just curious what was going on.
No, well, I mean, at first, I think it was to sort of quiet those bigger questions and those anxious feelings. And then eventually, alcohol is an addictive substance. So, surprise, surprise, I got addicted to it.
Right.
And then it's kind of exactly what you said. This is, you had this secret side. I was asking the same questions. How can I, sort of this public figure who sings about my faith, how can I have this problem? How can I get help? Because how can I confess or admit this to somebody? And I think I struggled with it longer than I should, certainly longer than I should have, because, the truth will set you free. We bring those things into the light. That was the hardest thing for me to do because I was ashamed, I was embarrassed. And I had tried to quit many times on my own. At first, I would say it was in moderation. And then, as time went on, I eventually felt like I needed it to go to sleep. And again, in the short term, it sort of turned down the volume on the anxiety. But then the next morning, you kind of wake up and it's worse. And honestly, Wally, we all have our stuff, right? It may not be alcohol or even hard drugs, but we've all got what we turn to. Even now, the three of us have the things that we turn to, and it may not be some substance or something like that, but what we go to instead of what we know we should.
And Betty definitely resonated with the anxiety part of Josh's story because of her own struggles with that and how it can be really hard to deal with inside of the church.
Some people say, well, you shouldn't have anxiety because you're a believer and you shouldn't even deal with those things. So you've got that, and then you've got the alcohol issue.
Yeah.
It's a twofold situation going on.
Can I respond to the first thing?
Yeah.
Believers shouldn't have anxiety. Well, I follow Jesus, and Jesus had anxiety and had the worst panic attack on record. Let's think about the garden, the night before the cross.
He sweat blood.
If that's not a panic attack and anxiety, I'm serious. I don't know what
I've
is.
never thought of it like that.
And so when I pray to Jesus, not only do I have a God who's there for me and will be with me and carry me, but I have a God who can literally say, I know exactly how that feels, and it's going to be okay.
This is one of those rare conversations with a Christian artist that is super open and honest about life and struggles. And so if you have somebody in your family or you are struggling with alcohol, it's worth hearing and it's worth seeing all of it. All you have to do is text Josh, 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 as in Josh Wilson, this is one word, Josh, to 91979. We'll send you a link that has the whole 25-minute video, and there's a lot of great stuff in there. We're also going to talk a little bit more here on the show with, Josh's story and some of the things that he was going through and what that looks like moving forward and how do you get help. And we'll do that in 10 here on The Wally Show.
Why does
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. So Betty Rock had been going through Instagram and she came across a post from Christian artist Josh Wilson that said celebrating 6 years of sobriety, which shocked me because I've known him for a bunch of years, more than that, and I had no idea. And so we wanted to have him on to talk through it because I truly believe being open about these struggles can really help other people. And, you know, I was curious about also the internal struggle that would come from standing on stage, you know, every night talking about Jesus, yet drinking yourself to sleep. And I had to imagine the guilt was just crippling.
Yeah. It becomes sort of this self-perpetuating cycle of trying to stop something, unable to do so, and then so the shame drives you back to it.
Exactly.
And anyone that's dealt with addiction, you know that cycle. And to a smaller degree, I think we all know exactly how that can happen because I think we've all done that to a smaller scale. Maybe we're not on a stage in front of a microphone, but we've all told somebody, I'm okay, when you're not.
Right.
All of us Christians have done that. I think the temptation is to think I need to hide this struggle because a Christian shouldn't deal with this. And I'm a Christian because I struggle, because I need Jesus, and because I need him to save me. And to be honest, also to answer your question, it's taken me 6 years to talk about it for that very same reason.
And that's it, because inside of the church, I don't know if you know this or not, we can be a little judgy.
Well, which church do you go to? I never heard of that.
All of them. But it's true, though. So it's like, okay, so why did you feel the need to post this now? Was it because it's far enough in the past that you almost get a pass for it? Versus it being like last year, you know, kind of thing?
Yeah, man, honestly, that's part of the reason is because in early sobriety, first of all, I didn't know if it would work. I didn't know if I could stay quit.
Sure, I get that.
It's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Second of all, enough time has passed where I feel like I've gotten a little perspective. And honestly, not to over-spiritualize it, but third, I think God was telling me it's time. Mm-hmm. And I had a conversation with a friend about some new songs I'm writing, and he said, you're at the stage of your life where for all these years you've had something to offer in music, and maybe it's musicianship or catchy songs or whatever, and now what you're able to offer people through your music and through your words is wisdom, because now you have experience. And he said to me, you need to be writing the songs that your 80-year-old self will be proud of. And that changed everything for me.
Again, this is a really important conversation about struggle, addiction, and inside of church and inside of faith and Christian music. And if you're struggling with that now, maybe this will be encouraging for you, or you know someone who is. Just text the word Josh, Josh, to 91979, and we'll send you a link to the entire interview that we did that we have posted at wayfm.com. And it's really good stuff. And in like 10 minutes, I do want to talk about the social aspect of this. And did he get hate socially when he made that post? And we'll go through that in 10 here on The Wally Show.
Why does kindness seem revolutionary? When did we let hate get so ordinary?
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. One of my favorite songs that we play by Josh Wilson there. And recently we had Josh stop by. If you want to see our entire conversation, because it's about sobriety and him as a Christian artist getting sober when no one knew he had this problem, just text the word Josh to 91979 and we will send you a link. And I think it's a really important and worthwhile conversation to check out. And so, you know, we're talking about this all with him, and Betty Rock cued into something too, because it's not easy to talk about your mess in front of people, and especially inside of the church. And Betty Rock, I think, nailed it on the head with this one.
I think now that you're sharing this part of your story, it's going to impact so many other people's lives, because who knows who else is hiding an addiction. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so with someone speaking up and saying, hey, I know what it's like to have faith, but also be struggling and be hiding it, man, that's going to speak volumes to so many.
I think that's the main reason I decided to finally just do it. When I did that post, you guys have heard sometimes, you know, you just have to be brave for 30 seconds.
Right.
And do the thing. When I was driving here, my hands were shaking. I was like, just do the thing, be brave. Because that's exactly why I hope someone hears this and go, whatever the thing is for you, it's okay, and you can tell somebody. Find a trusted person to tell, and it's going to be okay. I have friends who have gotten sober, friends who are trying to get sober.
Who are they? Are they Christian artists?
Let me make you a list. Oh, you would be surprised. No, I'm just kidding.
What has been the feedback since you've been posting about it on social media? What are other people saying to you?
Well, first of all, I can say there's not been a negative comment. Everyone that's
Wow.
actually spoken up.
That's saying something for social media.
Did you hide mine then? Like
It's wild. I think
that Josh Wilson, I knew I couldn't trust him.
Oh yeah, I just muted your accounts, Wally.
Thank you.
But the response has been, thank you. Me too. Thank you for your honesty. It's so nice to see that, people who I think must have it all together don't, because we all need Jesus in that way.
What do you hope that talking about all of this now from your past and your story, what do you hope comes out of this?
I hope someone else finds help, and I hope someone else finds Jesus. I have been a follower of Jesus for the majority of my life. He's saved me from so many things, but this is sort of a new relationship and a new experience these last few years. I'm learning what grace actually means, and so I hope that by me sharing this, whatever it is the folks who are listening are dealing with, Jesus is bigger, Jesus is better, and he's always there waiting with open arms and never judgment, always love.
There you go. Josh Wilson, man, I really appreciate you being so honest about this and having this conversation, because trust me, not everyone can and not everyone's willing to, but I think it's really important and it's powerful, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys.
And I know there might be a tendency, like you're like, oh man, you guys are goofing around, and inside of this it's very serious, which it is, and it's important. But then I also believe in treating somebody normal, like you would if they hadn't had this problem you were talking about, and that's what we try to do here on the show. Like, here's an outtake for you that wasn't going to make the air, but it's kind of funny, and I love seeing Josh's humor inside of this too. I know you were like nervous about talking about it,
yeah,
but you're totally killing this, okay?
Thanks, man.
So here we go. It's like, your addiction's awesome.
Good job.
Yeah, good job
Thanks
with your
for
addiction.
the content.
So
Let's
good.
label the podcast, Your Addiction is Awesome.
Yeah. Or thanks for the content. That's funny. All right, here we go. All right, so if you want to see all the entire conversation, and again, I think it's worth seeing, especially if you struggle or you know somebody that struggles, just text the word Josh to 91979. In my family, we kind of have a motto, and it's finish strong. And I wanted to instill the idea in my daughter from a young age that it's easy to start something, but it's harder to see it through to the end.
But when you do, it feels so good. I started and finished 2 degrees at Colorado Christian University, and I'm so glad I did.
So why not start your degree in 2023 so you can do more in 2024?
Some of CCU's degrees can be completed in a little over a year. Like in the healthcare industry, you can finish your RN to BSN online nursing program with 9 courses in as little as 14 months without changing your work schedule.
Plus, if you started somewhere else and have not finished yet, make this your year to get it done. CCU has a generous policy for transferring credits from other colleges. In fact, you can even get a scholarship for transferring credits.
So don't put it off another day, because when 2024 rolls around, you could be finishing up a degree or wishing you had started in 2023.
Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart.
Uplifting Way FM.
If you're not careful, you might just learn something today.
Hi there. Is there a project you're working on? I know more than you. All right.
It's The Wally Show.
Millions of people deal with the inability to get a good night's sleep. There can be many causes for it. The top reasons are being too hot or too cold.
Oh, my wife has both of those, and they alternate. Like, it is the craziest
fun.
thing. Yeah, there's a fan on in the middle of the night, then it's off. It's a miracle I don't have pneumonia every day.
General stress is also a very popular reason. Stress about life, like your job or your relationships with others, maybe money troubles, things like that.
Did dogs make the list?
Dogs did not make the list, and I know for you, Gavin, that is a personal problem.
Yeah.
Well,
it
your
is.
dog Jasper wakes you up to go pee.
A maniac.
It's ridiculous. A bad night's sleep every now and then, it isn't an issue. But if it's multiple nights in a row, it can take a toll on you emotionally and physically. Maybe you find yourself quickly going to anger or finding yourself where you just can't cope with what's going on. To where everyday life, it's important for you to do what you can to entrust a good night's sleep. So, popular ways of de-stressing before bed. This is what you want to do. You could start by reading a book. Wally knows. He reads a book and he's out like a light.
I know. I read a first page of a book, and I'm out like a light.
Another way of de-stressing is switching your phone off completely. So the reason for doing this is so you won't get trapped into looking on it.
TikTok.
I know, TikTok
That'll
is your
ruin you.
downfall.
It'll ruin you.
If you're not comfortable, though, with turning your phone completely off, maybe you're a parent of children that live outside the home and you're not comfortable with that. Some people put their phone in a different room, and that still does the job.
Yeah, no, mine's right by my bedside, and it's on because, like, it's my alarm clock for me to get up. And then also, too, like, I'll get a text every once in a while in the morning, like, bright and early about things for the show, or I can't come in or whatever. And so it's like that stuff I have to know.
True, but it could still be in a different room.
Then I got to get up. then I'm awake.
Yeah, exactly. When your alarm goes off, you have to get up and you have to turn it off. Or if you get a text message, you'll still get it in the morning and you'll respond to it then. You can also make changes to improve your sleeping environment. So most sleep and wellness doctors suggest giving yourself at least 30 minutes to wind down before bed. Make sure your bedroom is completely dark as well. Don't turn the TV on or have a nightlight. And finally, tweak the AC unit, because we know that's going to be an issue. Come to terms with it with your spouse if you need to, like Wally needs to. And make sure you have a well-supporting mattress and pillow. Everything is built differently, so you need to find the one that's built for your needs.
And it's always so hard. Like, you go lay on them, you're like, I think this is going to be good. And then you get it home, you're like, I don't know. And then they're like, well, you have 30 days to return it. And no one ever does.
No, it's so difficult.
It's a pain. So you're like, I'll just sleep on it. I'm kind of in that place right now. I've had one for 2 years now. I'm like, I don't think it's great.
I have some friends of mine, a couple, and they have a purple mattress.
Yeah.
Which I think is made with like holes
It's
in
like
the middle
foam,
of,
yeah.
it's kind of like a bee
A
nest.
beehive?
Yeah, like a beehive. So I don't know.
Yeah. I've tried those. I mean, I can still sleep because I'm just always tired, but...
Well, your wife has an issue, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
probably your snoring.
No, that's very true, actually. Yeah, that should make the list for ways to not be able to sleep. It's have someone that like is there snoring all night. That's me, and occasionally her. Let's be honest. She has some snoring problems too, but I will say that mine is the worst. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. Great song by Mercy Me, a classic. I can only imagine about standing in front of Jesus in heaven and what that's going to be like. And I think heaven is a bit of a mystery for many of us because none of us have been there. And you're like, what's it going to be like? And I had this thought the other day. And so forgive me because I think about things and they're not always intelligent. But I was thinking, I'm like, when we get there, like, how is Jesus going to greet us? Is he going to be like Old Testament Jesus? Like, greetings, weary traveler. I trust thou journey was less than strifeful. If thou requestest anything, verily I say unto thee, summon me, and I will goeth wherever you are and leadeth you.
Whoa.
Yeah, like,
That's intense.
Is he going to do that? Or is he going to be like, yo, what's up, dude? Like modern Jesus, you're going to love this place. It is fire. So I don't know. The devil's gone. He was sus, but it's all taken care of. Hit your crib and I'll hit you up later. How is he going to greet us? So I literally, that's my biggest worry.
I get that. I think we all have those wonderings about what it's going to be like. For instance, I wonder if pets will be there.
Yeah.
Like our cats and our dogs. Is it just a one-time thing here on Earth, or will they be up there in heaven?
We know there's going to be a lion and a lamb at least.
That's true. We
Just
do know
one.
that. Also, will calories count? Will we get to eat? Because I enjoy eating.
Yeah, you do.
And so, will there be a Chick-fil-A that's open 24 hours?
Even on Sundays.
Even on
That's how you know
Sundays.
you're in heaven.
And I can have as much sweet tea as I want and not worry about the sugar intake or the caffeine intake.
Another good point. In heaven where time isn't like a thing, like right now we have constructs of 7 days and you rest on the Sabbath, will church be a thing? Or will it be the longest church ever?
Oh, my goodness.
See, okay, these are all the things that you think about. Like because you think of heaven as this big picture thing, but when you drill it down into like specifics, it's like, well, wait. Would this actually be a thing? I don't know. And you think about it logically, and logic and faith always don't like coincide.
Yeah, I have so many questions.
I know. So here's the deal. This is what I want to talk about. Like, what are your questions about heaven? Not so much like when I get to heaven, the first thing I'm asking God. Like, I know people talk about that all the time, but this is more like as you think about it, kind of in the manner that we've just explained, like, does it bring up any questions for you about heaven? Like, yeah, is there going to be food there? I have no idea. So whatever it is, there's zero judgment. You heard mine. So my musings and wonderings. 855-33-WAY-FM. And I'm just curious. There's no right or wrong answer. Just curious what your questions about heaven are. 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. Portia, what do you wonder about heaven?
Well, I wonder what my house is going to be like. My mansion.
Oh, yeah. Because some people may not want a mansion. I would like a trailer or a cabin.
Well, you know what? You're living a life that's going to give you that.
Rude.
All right, Stephanie, you're up. What would your question about heaven be?
I've got my kids in the car, and we're curious. Do you think we'll have to go to the bathroom while we're in heaven?
That's a very good question. We had to here, and some of us more than others.
Right, and I'm thinking now, in the Bible, they never specified Jesus going to the bathroom, so...
These are all good questions.
I don't know.
I mean, you don't know. I think that we're not going to have the same body-ish. I don't know. I hope it's a better one.
Bigger question, if we do have to use the bathroom while in heaven, who's responsible for cleaning it? Because that's not anyone's heaven.
Oh, not it.
Well, hey, I appreciate you being on with us today, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Laura had a good question. She said, hear me out. Will we wear clothes in heaven? She said, in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve were naked with no shame, no sin.
Well, there would be shame. Lots of shame. What McDonald's has done to me. I don't want to subject anyone to that for eternity.
That's true. Amen. And then Mandy.
You didn't have to amen it. I mean, that's true was fine.
And then Mandy said her 3-year-old just asked if there are going to be toys in heaven. He said that if there aren't any, he's going to run back home.
That's so great. Again, I love it. Everybody's perspective is just a little bit different. So, Jess, what are your questions about heaven?
Will my puppy be there?
Will your puppy be there? That's a good one. Like, I think all of us love our animals so much, and we really are hoping we would be reunited with them. I've heard different people say theologically different things. Like, some people make the argument that no, that heaven's going to be so great, you're not going to miss that love. But I'm like, what's it going to hurt if they were there,
Right. And he made them. And I think, too, that Jesus was a cat guy because there are really no purpose to a cat. And he still made them.
Yeah. I mean, the Bible talks about a lion and a lamb being there. So, I mean, you could extrapolate that out, that maybe either your dog is going to be there or we're all getting lions, which would be kind of dope, too. What is your question about heaven?
I want to know if it's going to be like a big arena where some people have VIP front row seats and some of us are way up in the nosebleed section.
I can tell you that, yes, I will look back at you. No, look back at you from my VIP seating in heaven, and I will wave.
I'm thinking, I try. I love Jesus, and I try, but I have a feeling I'm up in the nosebleeds, buddy.
I have found it interesting that our whole lives on earth is about deny, and love other people and put yourself last and all this other stuff. But then there's like this reward system of crowns and jewels and gold. Like, it doesn't seem to equate to me. And I really do believe that was more metaphor than literal. And that was trying to convey that there is a reason for living a good life here that points people to Jesus. And maybe, and I'm literally just thinking this, maybe the crowns are actually people in a way that they're in heaven now because we were a good representation of Christ. I don't know.
Why are you including a we in there?
I meant me. I think it's more that accomplishment of a job well done and a life well lived than actually like this reward.
I get that, but, just exactly what you were saying, about the crowns in heaven, build up your rewards. I look at some of my friends and I think you're just so much better than I am.
I know. Betty sits across from me every day thinking the same thing.
Getting the facts mostly right.
Even Woody and Buzz got under each other's plastic.
Wasn't Woody made out of cloth?
Yeah, I appreciate your neighbor. Now's not the time.
That's our commitment to you. It's News-ish on The Wally Show.
If you're a mom, you have for sure heard, Ma, what's for dinner?
The meatloaf,
The
Ma!
meatloaf. And, soon you may be able to answer, lab-grown meat, sweetie. To which they'll respond, yes, I love lab-grown meat. I wish I was kidding.
Disgusting.
I wish I was kidding. And this is not like the Impossible Burger, like a plant-based thing. This is a little thing called lab-grown meat. And they need to come up with a better name for it, honestly. Yeah. But apparently, these people that are doing this, they have gotten approval from the FDA saying that we're good with this. It looks like it's working out, and you guys have done some great work here. There are still some critics about the cost of it, because anything that's new costs a lot of money. But apparently, we consume 75 billion pounds of red meat and chicken every year. That's about 225 pounds per American. Woo! And some of us do more, some of us do less. But boy, howdy. So this is cultured cell meat. It's grown in steel bioreactors from animal stem cells, and apparently... Oh. Yeah, I know. It gets really sciencey. And so they feed these cells vitamins, fats, sugars, and oxygen, and real meat tissue grows.
Okay.
And think of it as like a giant metal Slim Jim.
It's not helping.
Delicious.
Yeah, to me, that just made me go, I'm in. But yeah, and so... The good side of this is, I know it's like really off-putting at first. The good side of this is it would cut down, if it's good and doesn't kill us, it would cut down on like having to eliminate animals for meat, and also on the greenhouse stuff, gases.
Yeah, but this is getting too sciencey for me.
I know.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it only takes 2 weeks to grow, and it just depends. The only limitation right now is how many like of these biosteel reactors they can have, because it's like super expensive. And so that's the thing. Like anytime you have something that's right out of the gate, it's cost prohibitive. Like look at electric cars when they first came out. They've come down a little bit, but they still have to come way down before everyone's buying them, you know, kind of thing. And this is the same thing. Like I don't see this happening for years. I just see this being something that really rich people put on a menu and overpay for a while. But who knows? Maybe one day soon at your Walmart you can get that lab-grown meat.
True, because you won't find it at your local Waffle House. I'm telling you now.
Well, they already have stuff that I'm not sure is organic.
Rock what you got, light up the lot. No one can rock the way you rock.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. It's our Rock What You Got contest. We do it every year, and it's to send a kid to Camp Electric, which is a creative arts camp where kids learn about music and even video production from some of the best in the Christian industry. I love it. My daughter went for 7 years, loved it, made great friends that she still keeps in contact with, and it's just a really cool environment for kids to learn not only about being better musicians, but about being better believers, you know. And one of our kids that won the contest actually got saved at Camp Electric. I'm like, man, that's like the perfect example of why it's so awesome.
Yeah,
and
you
so,
can't write that script.
No, and so you can send a kid. It can be your kid. It can be a kid that you know. It doesn't matter. You just nominate them. And somebody emailed me last night. They're like, the more nominations matter? No, one good nomination. That's all you need. And they could be in the running for this free trip. All expenses paid to go to Camp Electric in July here in Nashville. And so, Gavin, you have one of the people that submitted an entry?
Yeah, Mark. He nominated his son, Champ, says that Champ is a perfect fit for your camp.
It's a rock star name, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
Says that he leads worship in his youth group, but what he does do even better than that is serve people. He is the first to step up and serve, and many times the last to leave the building, so he's got a great work ethic because of this. So if chosen, he would represent Camp Electric in so many amazing ways because of his willingness to learn, his heart for service, and his dedication to Christ.
Like, we all know that Torrin Wells is one of the best singers in Christian music. Guy can sing. He can't sing. He can sing. And he is one of the teachers most years. I think he's teaching there this year. My daughter's had classes with him. What a great opportunity to learn from someone like that. But then he pours his soul into these kids as well about faith. They have worship nights. The kids love doing that. Again, cannot tell you enough of good things about this. But here's the bad thing. The deadline for entries is Sunday night. So you're running out of time. So get your entries in now. Don't wait. Tell us about that kid that you think this would be a great opportunity for, and we'll get him in. Just text the word ROCK, R-O-C-K, to 91979. That's ROCK to 91979, and you can nominate a kid today.
Uplifting Way FM.
Here's what's going on today.
Gavin, good sir, what do you have?
When a guy gets down on one knee to propose to his girlfriend at the time, it's supposed to be the highlight of that couple's life, at least up until that point. But there was one couple's proposal moment at a Los Angeles Dodgers baseball game that was truly a moment that will never be forgotten. by thousands of people because this man, he was actually planning, Ricardo, he was proposing to Ramona. He was planning to propose in the stands, but kind of saw this like wide open field before the game and made the impromptu decision to hop down from the bleachers, go down onto the field, which already sounds like a little sketchy.
Yeah, that never goes well.
Not maybe the greatest decision. And he gets down on one knee, and you can probably imagine that she's psyched. People in the stands are probably like, oh my goodness,
yeah,
love.
It's beautiful. We love it.
It's going to be great.
Jumbotron this.
That moment is ruined by the 3 security guards who barrel into this guy. Like, if you watch the video, they tackled the snot out of this guy.
That was their World Series. They're
Yes.
like, finally, it's go time. And because he's on the field, they all their training, if there is any, kicks in at that point, and they just get to level that dude.
The guy who played like high school football
Yes.
but couldn't go on further. He's like, this is my moment.
Finally,
Here we go.
yeah.
So they crush him. The proposal is quote unquote ruined. She did still say yes in the grand scheme of things. Ricardo ended up going to the hospital the next day because he woke up.
Man.
The man woke up feeling sore.
Yeah.
They said that all it was bruising. So, like, bummer for him.
Yeah.
The end result of this situation is that he did get a 1-year ban from the stadium, which I think is a little rough.
I thought you were going to say, like, they felt bad and maybe we overreacted, so they gave him season passes, and here you go for you guys, matching jerseys.
No, I mean, he's going to have to be the guinea pig and be the example because if you just let anyone walk on that grass, I mean, you're not being respectful.
That's true, but then if it always ends with you getting tackled, then it's on you. You know, pay your money, take your chances, you know.
I hope we, like, hear this story unfold in a way where maybe one of the, like, Dodger players says,
Does
that was awesome.
yeah.
Here's, a meet and greet. Here's a bat. Here's, something for the wedding, which the wedding is still on. It's a few months from now. So at the end of the day, love still won, but that guy lost via the tackle.
Betty Rock, do you want a public proposal? Or do you want it private?
Private.
Okay, yeah. Just kind of like you and this special someone at Waffle House.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say the same exact thing. Yes.
Yes. See, I know you so
Just
well.
write I love you on a waffle in syrup.
Oh,
classic.
So good, so good. Bury the ring in some hash browns.
Yes.
Scattered, smothered, and covered. You got her heart. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and from time to time we do a little segment called Kitty-Oki, and you can win a prize. This is where we marry 2 of Betty Rock's great passions in life. Singing, which she has an angelic voice, and she harmonizes with every song she sings, which is amazing. And then, oh, wow, a lot of range. How many octaves? 5? Okay.
Yeah.
And she loves karaoke. And so we put those together, and she loves cats, so we have her meow the lyrics to songs. I have the privilege of accompanying her from time to time on the ukulele because, again, I'm not worthy to share this stage. I get it. Nope. So, Rock, I do have a question for you, though, okay? Because I like to be creative and put my own spin on things. That's what you do. Like American Idol, they're like, that was great, but put your own spin on it. Now, I know the chords that we're using for this song are like A minor, and I could just go like, this, C, G, pretty straight chords. And I could do it like that, and then you're going to shine. Or I could kind of like make it my own a little bit and be like... So would that be okay?
It would, because I know you will mess up in the first note.
That's true. I actually will. I should probably just do the... That's probably going to be better for everybody. So.
You're just setting yourself up for disappointment.
Okay, I'll do it straight the first time through, and then I'll try and jazz it up with the second time through, okay? So prepare for that. Okay, so now here we go. Betty Rock, count us in. Remember, be listening. See if you can tell us what the song is that she is meowing.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Okay, I'm going to say I like the second version better. Thank you, Gavin, with the wow. Wow,
That
amazing.
That was
You
pity.
put your own unique spin on it. I didn't hear Betty do that.
I know, huh? No,
Excuse
she just
me.
did the lyrics. Whatever.
I had to work with what I was given.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you can tell us what song that is, you can win a prize right now. And if you can compliment the ukulele playing, you might win too. 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. That's 855
Okay, that's enough.
33-WAY-FM. Uplifting Way-FM. This is the Wally Show. Sarah, welcome to Kitty-Oki. Okay, now the way this works is we will combine two of Betty Rock's great passions. It's singing and cats. So we have her meow the lyrics to different songs. And I want to give you every opportunity to get this right. Okay, so we're going to play it through one more time. Now, the first time we played it, there was the straight ukulele playing, just pretty mundane. And then there was the flare ukulele playing. Which would you like? Which version?
I really enjoyed the flare. I was rocking out to it.
Thank you very much. So, Betty Rock, we are going to do the flare version with the ukulele here. So, we'll give her that. So, one more time. Count me in, Rock.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
There you go. All right. Flare version and all. If you can tell us what song that is, you will be a winner today there, Sarah.
Counting Stars by One Republic.
Nicely done. You got title and artist. Very good.
Now, had it been just the ukulele playing, do you think you would have gotten it?
So the meowing definitely helped because when he was practicing, I was like, I know this song, but I can't quite recall it. And as soon as the meows hit, I
That's
was like,
fine. So
yes,
what you're saying is
that's it.
you need both of us, which I'm fine with. Betty Rock, not so much.
No, what she's saying is your playing cannot stand on its own feet,
See?
so you need me.
And that is lead singer disease right there. That's what this band suffers from. That's why we're going to end up breaking up like all the great big bands. But you know what? Until then, we are going to stay together long enough to send you your prize, Sarah, because you're a winner today.
Yay! Thank you. Y'all made my day.
Uplifting Way-FM, this here is the Wally Show. A little Time Capsule Tuesday where Gavin, Betty, and myself each pick a song from a specified year. We will play a little bit of it, and you are like, okay, I love that song. I missed that song. That's a great one. I want you to play that. You vote on it. Majority rules here, and one of you will be the thing that pushes it over the top and gets that song played. So, with that said, Betty Rock, the year, please.
1989.
Yes, that was 3 years after I graduated high school.
Oh.
It was not the best time in music for Christian music, I'll be honest with you, because they were about 8 to 10 years behind at that point.
I was an infant.
Yeah, Gavin not even born yet.
Not even an idea.
Always love what Gavin pulls because he's just going back and listening to weird songs and being like, I like this one. So what'd you pull, Gavin?
Okay, well, I picked the Brian Duncan song. This is like I figured I would lean into the synthesizers and the stuff that makes no sense to my
As you
brain.
should.
So I thought this was okay.
Okay.
Let me be broken, my cry, my plea. Let me be broken, chosen. Let me be
All right. I want to say that Brian Duncan was the first song ever played on Way-FM 30-something years ago.
Really?
I think it
popular?
was. Yeah. He was kind of a...
was this his most popular?
You didn't believe that?
He was kind of a renegade in Christian radio, too, or music, from what I understand. Like, he pushed some boundaries. He wasn't the norm. Betty Rock, what did you go with?
I picked a legend that is still a legend today. Stephen Curtis Chapman, More to This Life. I can just see this song playing as Perm's hair is blowing in the wind. And you're in your pastels and your shoulder pads. Yeah.
He's still writing music today. We're playing a brand new song from him as well. They sound similar. He knows his lane.
Oh, man.
It means he was just ahead of his time back then. That's what I'm saying. You guys didn't let me finish. All right, so I picked one that, and normally, too, what we do is we pull the hooks of each of these to play for you, and then we each pull the full song in case ours is chosen. Then we have it ready to go. I did not even bother pulling the full song of mine because I know mine is not going to get chosen. It is by a band called Bloodgood. It's 80s hair metal Christian version, and it's called Out of the Darkness. Wait for it. Here it comes. It's going to get. Hang on a second. Guitar solos. They're a thing of the past. Millennials don't know anything about guitar solos.
Okay.
Every song had one.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
After hearing all 3 hooks from the songs we've chosen, I would say Bloodgood is my favorite.
No, I didn't. You're just trying to hose me because I didn't pull the song. Now I have to go quickly find it and pull it.
Let's hear more.
I'm it kind of reminds me of that song that we like to play in the Aftercast, which you can get when you text TWS to 91979.
I'm going to find it. Dragon Force.
Oh, Dragon Force. Oh, no wonder you like it. Yeah.
And so Bloodgood kind of sounds like Dragon Force.
Yeah, it does, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Dragon Force is not up for contention here, although I wish it was. Yeah. Now I see why you like it. I thought you were just trying to hose me there, because then I'm going to have to go find it and pull it.
That's an extra benefit.
Yeah. All right. So you make the call, though, okay? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. Which of the songs do you want to hear? Stephen Curtis Chapman, More to This Life, Let Me Be Broken by Brian Duncan, or Out of the Darkness by Bloodgood?
Bloodgood!
You make... No, I don't have the song.
Bloodgood.
You guys literally are the worst. 855-33-WAY-FM. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. All right, it is our Time Capsule Tuesday, which I see how this is going to go because Betty Rock jinxed me. You had More to This Life, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Let Me Be Broken, Brian Duncan, or Out of the Darkness, which I only pulled the hook for, not the whole song, because I knew no one would vote for it. But apparently, people are liking this. Is that true, Lamar?
Well, only because you didn't give me a Carmen option.
That's true. This is back to 1989. Carmen was big back then, but I can't pull a Carmen song. I could not stand Carmen.
Now, Lamar, you could have voted for any song. Why did you choose Bloodgood?
Just to make Wally's morning lovely.
See, that's it. Because then I had to hustle over and cut something. The stress was getting me, and that's the only reason I know Betty Rock pushed for it, because she hates this song. There's no way.
No, I love it.
All right. Well, real quick, I appreciate you, Lamar. I want to find out if somebody actually picked this because they liked the song. So let's take one more call. Thank you, Lamar.
Okay.
All right, Francis, you're up. What song do you think you want to go with?
It's definitely got to be Bloodgood.
Yeah.
I saw them in concert in Dallas, and the band that opened for them was One Bad Pig.
No, yes, I remember One Bad Pig. I'll tell you, Bloodgood was great. The singer, I think he recently passed away, but he was 100 at the time when they were coming up, I thought. And so, I don't know how old he was when he passed.
Hey, correction, I just Googled it. It actually was the bassist for the band, Michael Bloodgood.
Oh, good. Okay, well, good.
Not good.
Horrible. No, it's not good anyway, but I did not know that, so thank you. Are they still gigging?
Yeah, they're going to be at the Immortal Tour coming up. Immortal Festival?
I love the sound of that. It just sounds good. Like a bunch of 80s metal. Oh, so good. But there you go. That is majority rules. It was a landslide for Bloodgood. And again, only because people wanted me to have to work harder, not because they liked it.
Awesome. We'll look forward to hearing more music. Thanks
All
so
right,
much.
well, here we go. For Francis and everybody else, it's, I can't believe I'm saying it, finally, Bloodgood on Way FM. Uplifting Way FM. It's the Wally Show. Who's this?
Hey, this is Megan.
What's up, Megan?
I just want to say I totally appreciated that whatever 80s rock band song that just played.
Okay,
That
let me
was
just
awesome.
stop you
I was
right
like,
there. Not that whatever. That was Blood Good,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
one of the preeminent
I'm
80s
so sorry. I
rock
did
bands.
not cause offense.
Well, offense taken, just so you
Oh,
know.
it was Blood Good?
Yes, this is Blood Good. Now, I am glad that you enjoyed that. How old are you?
I am 38.
Okay, all right. See, that wouldn't have really been in your wheelhouse.
No.
Because I'm 54, and so that was right in my day.
Now, do you wish that music would go back to that or no?
Yes.
Oh,
you do?
I love it. Your parents raised you right.
I don't have the kids in my car now, but I was like, one of the days the radio station down in South Carolina here, I'm in like the Charleston area, and it went out. So I was trying to find the radio station, and I was just flipping through the channels, and Ozzy came on.
Oh, wow.
And my 6-year-old was like, Mom, turn it back. I really like that. I was like, I don't think I can play that for you.
Yeah, not that one there,
So
dear.
now my child has a new band to listen to
Oh,
because
my
you played it. That's awesome. You
Well,
have blessed him.
Don't stop at Blood Good. Get yourself a little Barren Cross, Atomic Arena, fantastic album, and then maybe jump into a little White Cross there too as well. So if it's got Cross in the name, you know it's going to be good.
Hey, and Megan,
Oh,
if you
yeah,
haven't
no,
heard of
that'd be
a little band called Heaven's Fire,
Oh, yeah.
you should look out on them because that's the band Wally was in.
You will not find anything.
Wait, what
there
was
is.
it? It was Heaven what? Heaven's Fire?
You can Google all you want, Heaven's Fire, but nothing will come up. We were that unimportant.
It's not going to be in the Apple Store or the iTunes or whatever?
No, not at all.
Well, maybe we could play a little bit for Megan so she could appreciate another band.
All right, well, here you go. Twist my arm.
Well, thank you for blessing me with that song.
You're more than welcome. Well, hey, thanks for being on the show with us today, Megan.
Y'all have a great day. Thank
You
you
too.
so much.
I'll never forget taking my first compassion trip, and we went to Ghana, Africa. When we got there to the site, there was this little girl. She was 6 years old. I later found out her name was Vivian, and she would not let go of my hand. She followed me everywhere I went on that site. And later, I got to meet her family. I met her mother and her siblings, and they all lived in this little mud hut. I mean, it wasn't big at all. And when I looked at Vivian, she had the biggest smile on her face, and she was just happy to be there, just happy to be with us. And it made such an impact in my life that I wanted to sponsor her right then and there. Because of my sponsorship for Vivian through Compassion, I'm able to write letters back and forth with her. I'm now getting updated photos, and now I think she's even taller than me, which is crazy to think. But I'm also able to see how my sponsorship is providing the food, clean water, and other support that she needs and her family needs to live the best life possible. And I can only imagine now with the pandemic, war, and weather disasters, there are so many other families like Vivian's who are dealing with hunger. So maybe you want to make an impact and sponsor your own Vivian. Just click the Compassion banner when you go to wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it. On the Rock Report. Hey, Betty.
With the astronomical amount of money you're expected to spend on concert tickets these days, it should come with a guarantee that you'll have a good time. But sadly, that's not always the case due to the other fans around you.
That's what ruins everything is people. Like, because not everybody plays by the same rules when you're in public.
Right.
And you can go out and be like, I'm going to have the best time. But then the person next to you acts the fool. And you're like, oh, this is just really, it makes me more stressed. I don't enjoy any of it.
Right. I found this article that laid out the top things a concert jerk tends to do. So if you find yourself guilty of any of these, please change your ways for the benefit of others. So the first one is trying to outperform the artist. This means that if you're singing louder than the artist or dancing and hitting people along the way, settle down. No one has paid to see you perform, so rein it in.
I have a humiliating moment like this in my life.
Good.
Humiliating. Betty Brock has probably already heard it. I was like 19. I was at a Rick Kua concert, and I didn't think anyone would know who he was. It was at a church, and I had gotten the album. I memorized all of it, and I was singing word for word every song. And I was in a band, so I thought I was it.
Cool.
And I was singing every word as loud as I could. The girl in front of me turns around, looks me dead in my ocular sockets, and is like, "Hey, we paid to hear them, not you." Literally told me that.
Well,
that has stuck with me for 54 years. I won't even sing worship songs in church now because of that lady. I'm too scared.
Did you stay or did you leave right after that?
Oh, I left. I went and got a different seat because it was just pews. I walked away.
He didn't want to be seen crying in public.
It's humiliating, man. And she was good looking too. So as a teenager, she devastated me.
Another jerk move is insulting the artist. This includes booing the artist or trying to get on stage yourself or even throwing things up on stage. If you're having that bad of a time, you just need to leave so you don't ruin it for others. And finally, don't disrespect those around you. This is especially true if you're at an event where kids are. So don't start cursing up a storm with your pals trying to be cool, because there may be little ears that can hear you, and parents are put in an awkward situation.
I remember being at a Casting Crowns concert, and the person next to me just kept taking the Lord's name in vain, just over and over, God this, God that, and I'm like, wait, it's part of the song. Never mind. Like that. I thought they were worshiping. Yeah. So anyway, definitely don't do that. All right, that's gonna do it for your Rock Report. Thank you, Lady Rock.
Random acts of audio.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. All right, Lady Rock, little random acts of audio. What do you got today?
Yeah, so trying to get a kid to do their chores is a job in itself. So when that kid grows up and gets a job, do they do their best at it or phone it in, trying to hand off most of the work to someone else?
Yeah.
Well, comedian Brian Regan talked about this in his recent stand-up. And Wally, you and Brian have something in common.
Oh.
It's very unique. You both worked at a toy shop putting together bikes.
Yes, I did. I worked through Toy Store 8604 in Atlanta. I worked at Toys R Us. Yeah, I was a bike assembler.
You knew the number.
I do.
Well, maybe you did something like this. He talks about the measures a teen will take not to just do their work.
My coworker came up to me one day and he said, "I found a place where we can go hide where we don't have to put together bicycles." What's going to happen later when no bicycles are put together? He's like, "I don't know. We'll figure that out later." So I said, okay. So I followed him. There's a rack of bikes in the back of the toy store, and behind that was a wall. There's a hole in the drywall, and he crawls into the hole and says, "Follow me." So like Alice in Wonderland, we get about 8 feet in, and we're both just standing there. And he says, "Beats working, huh?" Kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, sometimes you go to more work to not work, honestly. And I worked at Toys R Us, but I was not that guy. I had friends that would go and sleep in the back of the warehouse because they would stack up boxes of big play sets and they would sleep behind them.
Oh, boo.
And I was always like, why would you do this? You're being paid to work. I was raised with a work ethic. Me and my friends, we had one other guy that worked hard there. We would time ourselves and race to see who could build a bike the fastest. I got it down to I could build a complete 20-inch bike in 4.5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. But how long did it take for it to all fall apart?
Oh, I didn't put all the bolts on. But 4.5 minutes, I was winning. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. And everybody concerts differently. Like when you go to a show, You got people that are, kind of standing up in front of you, then some people sitting, some people dancing, some people spinning, some people upset that people are spinning and dancing, and so everybody does it a little bit differently. And Rock, you came across something that's kind of in this vein, right?
Yeah, so Keith Urban, he's a big...
Sorry, who?
Keith Urban.
Keith Urban is how you have to say it on the show.
You don't, but okay. Keith Urban, he is a big country music star, but he posted a picture recently of him standing in front of this poster, and it says, guests are encouraged to stand during the performance, and it's him raising his arm like, yeah. And so it started this controversy. A lot of people started commenting on this post saying, no, don't encourage people to stand.
Right.
Like, we want to sit so we can enjoy it. But then, if that person is in front of you standing and dancing or whatever, you won't be able to see that.
That's why I love a good Christian concert. Christian concert, they're like, you know what? I think we should sit out of respect. I think a lot of people think that way. And so they should have standing sections. Like, you should be able to buy tickets where we're just going to all in this square.
And there's not even chairs.
No chairs near there. Like, we're just going to all stand here together, and then everybody else over here that wants to just enjoy the show seated. Like, that's me. I want to enjoy the show seated now.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because when they stand in front of you, then you have to stand.
Right.
And you're dependent on when they sit.
Well, and I know you're talking as a grown man at 5'6".
I see nothing.
But there are children as well, and there are the disabled that can't see. So, I mean, it can be a problem.
But then again, if you're the artist, you want people to stand because you want them into it and you want to move the crowd. And so I get the push and pull of that.
Yeah.
And
so I wonder where other people stand.
That's why we're going to do a little 5 calls it right now. Are you a stander or a squatter? Okay. Like, do you sit down during a show or do you like to stand? And I watched literally at a Christian concert. It was for King and Country at an outdoor amphitheater. I watched 2 people argue and be very non-Christian about someone standing in front of them in a field. And I'm like, you can't be mad about that. Like, you can literally, you're in a field, move 6 feet over and you're fine.
Yeah, but
like,
what
let
if
them
you
enjoy
got there
it.
early
I know.
and that person just moved their way in?
That's true. Like, there's all these nuances. So 855-33-WAY-FM. We're just curious where you land on this debate of do you stand or do you sit at a concert. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll do 5 calls it with you right now. So what are you, a stander or a squatter there, Scott?
I used to be a stander when I was younger, but now in my older age, I'm a sitter. But growing up, I worked at an amphitheater, and they had the solution for it. They had a grass area in the back for all those that wanted to party, stand up. They had sitting in the center, and then for stuff, they had the mosh pit down in the front.
It's always fun to see people think I'm going to stand and just watch this, and then it turns into a mosh pit. The looks on their face is always so surprised. All right, Kelly, you're up. 5 calls it. When you go to a show, are you a stander or a sitter?
Well, I'm in the over 65 crowd, so I'm always a sitter. That's the good thing about going with old artists. And everybody sits down because all the fans are old. They might stand up for a minute or 2, but they're going to sit right back down.
Yeah, that is a very good observation. And also, too, at Christian concerts, when you go to the slow song, it's like, oh, good, everyone's going to take a breather and sit down, so you know that's coming at least.
Right.
All right, John, when you go to a concert, are you a stander or a sitter?
I am disabled, and I have to sit due to my condition.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, and then so people standing in front of you would be problematic. Do they, at least at most venues, have a place where you can go that people aren't in front of you if you have to sit?
They do, yes, but you'd still be surprised at the people that stand in front of you when they know you're disabled and you've got the disabled area. They still try to stand in front of you.
Oh, yeah, that's so not cool, man. It's like, yeah, move off to the side and let everybody see it and enjoy it for sure.
Right, exactly.
All right, Fred, 5 calls it. When you go to a show, are you a stander or a sitter?
Absolutely stand. It drives me crazy when people sit down the whole time at a concert. You're supposed to be there to celebrate and have fun.
You know what? I do understand this. Younger me understands this. Like, I went to every show and I loved it. But older me now is like, is it loud in here? Is it cold? Is it like, let's sit down for a minute and think about all the things that we need to think about other than the music that's happening right now. I'm hungry too. Does anyone want to get something to eat?
Oh my goodness. Wow. Fred, how old are you?
I'm the same age as Wally. I'm 54.
Oh, wow. No, I'm just an old 54 apparently.
Yeah, just stay home in your recliner and stream it or rent the DVD.
Yeah, don't ruin Fred's good time. He's going to be out there till he breaks a hip, and then we'll see who's sitting.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online and United Faith Mortgage for supporting what we do.